Good evening, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. First off, I want to say, forgive me, but I am going to be using some notes for this video. The topic I'm going to cover is kind of technical, and there's a lot to cover, and I just can't remember it all. So you might see me looking away from time to time to reference my notes. But what we're going to cover today is you have a file and you want to print it. But when you hit send to printer, it either doesn't transfer over or it takes an extremely long time to transfer. And the reason I'm doing this today is because I've just experienced this problem myself, and I had to do a lot of research to figure out how to fix it. So let's go ahead and discuss. I think there's about 7 or 8 fixes for this. And trust me, this is a very common thing that happens, and the fixes, they're extremely easy. So don't panic. There's really nothing to worry about. So let's go ahead and get into it. So again, you hit send to printer and nothing happens. No error codes, no progress bar, just plain old silence. And you sit there and you wait. And then you think to yourself, is something wrong? Should I cancel the transfer and start again? You can. That actually might fix it. But there's a lot of other things that you can check. So one of the first things you can check is cloud server congestion. If you're using cloud-based transfer, your file doesn't go straight to the printer. It goes from your computer to the cloud and then to the printer. If that server is overloaded, your file can just sit there and process. It's not going to go anywhere. It looks like it's frozen, but it's not. It's waiting its turn, basically, like waiting in a queue, waiting in line. The quick fix is just try again in a few minutes and then see what happens. Or better yet, bypass the cloud entirely and use LAN mode on your slicer. So the next one is going to be Wi-Fi interference. Your printer might say it's connected, but that doesn't always mean the connection is strong. A weak signal or too many devices or walls in between your router and the printer, it can make for a slow connection. And it can make your transfers fail completely. So move the router closer to your printer at first and see if that fixes it. Again, or just use LAN mode for a more stable connection. Next thing people overlook this is the file size and the complexity. High polygon models, dense supports, high infill, large G-code files, these take up a lot of space and take a while to process. Sometimes your printer isn't broken, it's just thinking of what it needs to do. So the fixes for this is to reduce the model size, or actually just reduce the resolution slightly. And there is an option in the slicer to simplify model. And what that's going to do is when you hit simplify model in the slicer, it's going to actually remove unnecessary triangles within the model, because all models build their G-code with triangles. So it's going to move a bunch of unnecessary ones, and that could speed up the transfer from slicer to printer as well. So you want to go ahead and you want to simplify any supports that you have and maybe lower the infill percent and even change the infill design, because some of them are very complex and they require a lot of space and a lot of time to transfer over. So that's another idea that you can use if you're still having trouble. Now, sometimes the simplest fix works the best. Restart everything. Restart your printers, restart your computer, restart the router for your internet, just restart it all. Sometimes that'll usually work more often than you think it does, because temporary glitches can block transfers without showing any errors. A clean reboot fixes more problems than you imagine. It really does. So give that a try if you're still having problems. So another simple reason that a lot of people don't even think about is most printers come with an SD card in them. And those SD cards can either be almost full or completely full, and B, they could be corrupted. Because over time, data fragments and hidden errors build up. So back up all the files that you want or that you need, and then format your SD card. You can do it directly from the printer itself. There are settings, at least in Bambu Lab printers, where you go in and you can format it and it cleans off the entire SD card. But keep in mind, when you do this, the SD card is going to be completely deleted. It's going to be blank. And so please back everything up onto another SD card and then format the one for your 3D printer. And finally, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to check for updates. Check for updates for your printers, for your computers, for the slicer software. Outdated software can cause compatibility issues, and these updates, they usually fix huge network problems, bugs, speed errors. So make sure you check everything and see if there's any updates available for them. If there are, update them, and you probably will notice a very large difference. So just to recap, if a file won't transfer or it's taking a very long time, it's usually one of these. It's usually cloud congestion, Wi-Fi interference, a really large file size, an SD card issue, or outdated software, and the firmware needs to be updated. It's almost never a catastrophic failure, and most fixes take less than 5 minutes. So if you think this video is going to help you save a print, get it to file transfer quicker, hit that like button. And if you want practical 3D printing advice that actually saves time and filament, subscribe to MakerMate Studio. And until then, I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Hope it helps.